In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this map, which is a Choropleth map with 2 layers of data on it. Not just one, but 2 layers of data. So if we take a look at this map, we're seeing both the wine production as well as almond production here in California. And you can see also that this is an interactive map that is embedded on a Canva. So let's start from the beginning. We are on data wrapper. Okay, so if we go to our dashboard on data wrapper and we go to create new, we hit map, and that should give us a choice to create a Choropleth map. So we're going to hit Choropleth map. We're going to do a new one. And then we need to decide what type of map we're going to do. And for the scale of this map, we're going to do California. And I want to do at the county level of analysis. So we're doing actually California counties. And here we have the whole state on counties. So this is a state-wide map, state scale, county level of analysis. Here are the names of all the counties in California in alphabetical order. So whatever data we get, it has to correspond to the names of all the counties in California. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up California Agriculture by County CSV file. And I'm finding here at the USDA National Agricultural Statistics Service that they have something listed. So I'm looking for a report in a CSV format from 2022. Now, when I download that report, what I get is I get a zipped folder with 3 documents inside, including this CSV file. And it's all of the crops listed crop by crop and county by county. So if I just uploaded this to data wrapper would have no idea what to do with it. So I'm going to have to make use of my data. So for this map, I'm going to do wine. So I'm just scrolling through and you can see all this beef and cherries and Christmas trees and corn and all these things. So I'm going down to grapes here and I'm looking for the wine, right? So I'm going to grapes, all table grapes. And then here we have our wine grapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the counties and I'm going to find the correct statistics that I need. And in this case, it's the amount of acres planted. So here I have the wine grape stats right here. And then this column right here, column G, this is the county code. And I actually don't need county codes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that column, G. And what I'm left with here is the acres now. Okay, so I have my grapes and I have my counties. So I'm going to go ahead and cut and paste that, all the counties here. And I'm then going to put that into my own spreadsheet. So I can have a Google sheet and I'm going to name that California Agriculture. And I can go ahead and call this row county. And then the next row will be acres planted. I'm going to go ahead and cut and paste those into my Google spreadsheet. Now I have all that information cut and pasted in the Google spreadsheet. Now to get the almond data, I need to go back to my original file. And now I'm going to go back up to the A. I'm looking for almonds here, and I'm going to find the data for almonds. Now, for the data for almonds here, it's not all the counties. So I'm going to actually enter all this stuff in by hand, and it only goes to certain corresponding counties. So I'm going to kind of rush through the process of how I did that. So now we have my almonds in one column, I have wine in another column, and I have my counties listed in another column. So I'm going to go ahead and click share, make sure my sharing permissions are on. Anyone, the link is a viewer, and I'm going to hit copy link back to data wrapper. And I am going to, instead of uploading a file, I'm going to link to a Google Sheet. So I go ahead and cut and paste into this Google Sheet right here. It gives me the check mark and I hit connect. And now we can see I have my county column, I've got my wine grape harvest column, and I've got my almonds column. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and proceed. Or actually, before I proceed, I'm going to make sure the columns are correct. So this column is going to be my names. Okay, this column is going to be my values. Okay, and then the third column, I actually want that one to be my patterns. Okay. So in order to do that, in order to get my patterns, so now we can see we have a very nice map here with all of our wine data, and I can just go ahead and change the colors in whatever way I want. That one kind of matches up towards colors of wine, right? So that's a good one. Or this one. It's a pretty nice map. Either way, you can pick your own colors, and you can do a lot in terms of making the different amount of steps here. So we have 5 steps, so that's 5 different categories, right? But we might want to get more refinement to have more differentiation in our map. Let's go to 10 steps, and we're going to do natural breaks. So now we have a lot more differentiation in the map, showing which areas are producing a lot and a little wine. And then we're going to hit pattern overlay, and we want to use pattern overlay right here. And it should give us a choice of the almond column, but if it's not giving us a choice of the almond column, what I'm actually going to do is go back to add your data. Now I'm going to click on the almond column, and for this column right here, I want that column to be patterns. So when I click on the top of the column, now I have patterns. So I have my name column, which is the counties, values, and those are going to be the colored ones, and that's the wine. And then our patterns column is going to show us the almonds data. Back to visualize, okay? And now I can add my patterns here. So I'm going to click add pattern, and these are the values in that column. And for each value, I can go ahead and add a pattern. So these are the types of patterns you can use. And again, you can change the width, you can change the gap. So if I want to add, for example, for the largest almond producers, right? This is 303,000 acres harvested. I'm going to do some really thick lines right here, right? So you can really see that that's a large almond producer, right? And I can add another pattern right here for 200,000 almonds produced. And again, I'm going to do really thick lines here, okay, for this county, right? And this shows me Stanislaus, a lot of almonds being produced in that county. And I can make that black if I want to, or I can make it gray, however I want to make it, right? So this is how we are adding our patterns, right? Again, don't forget to insert your title, right? And do not forget to annotate your map. Always publish your data source, put a link to your data, okay? And then there's a lot of other things we can do to our layouts, right? Automatic dark mode, etc. We have our share buttons. And then to refine our map, it's always good, in my opinion, to be able to make the map zoomable, right? And so we have our zoom button down here, right? We can change the height to the map, etc. Hide our region borders. We're not going to do that for this one. Enable highlighting on hover. I really like this one, right? So it kind of highlights on the hover. And for this, we can enable highlighting on hover. And this is really nice because it shows us when we highlight or we hover over, it gives the value in our key up here. So you can see how it changes the value in the key, okay? So there's just infinite amount of small changes you can make on your map. Okay, once you go to publish, right, and you click publish now, very easy to put this onto Canva. Once you have published your map, now you can just click on the link to the visualization right here, copy to clipboard, and you're going to open up a blank canvas in Canva, and then you're not doing anything, just selecting the canvas, and you just hit paste, and now you have your map. Your entire map is going to be placed on your design, and you can resize your map. And as you can see, as I did with this one, you can resize your map to however you want, and your map should be fully interactive on your Canva page. Thanks for watching.